Good evening, guys. Just introducing this video. You remember in my last video, I mentioned an event that happened about 3 years ago. We had gotten back from our trip to Martha's Vineyard, and we pulled my boat up to the town dock. And when I went to move it, I couldn't get the engine started, and just drove us crazy. Drove me crazy. My brother didn't know how to do anything with it, and anyway, the long and the short of it is I ended up having to leave it on town dock for the night. And Harbor Master came by and I got stickered. They put this big blaze orange sticker right across the front of your cabin. Not a happy sight. But the whole thing was that they had no evidence looking at my my starboard side, which was what was showing toward the town dock. They had no evidence that I was registered at all. And come to find out, I had the legal correct sticker up on the port bow. Anyway, long and the short of it, I had no registration numbers on the boat, and you're supposed to have. My brother had his S2 for 30 years and never put registration numbers on it, but all I can say is it cost me. Well, I ended up calling the harbor master, explaining the situation, told him I had a sticker, gave him my sticker number, and I was given a buyout. In other words, I didn't have to pay. Okay, they just said, okay, well, we're good with that, but get your registration numbers up there. So anyway, that's what this whole project is about, is finally getting registration numbers on my boat. That's why I made these plaques that I did that you're going to see in this upcoming video. So just to tell you, the whole origin of the story is that I was not fond of that big orange sticker on the front of my cabin. Very embarrassing, especially when people are walking by on the town dock. Say, oh, look at that guy. Anyway, okay. So anyway, from that, we're just going to go with this video, and that's the backstory behind it all. Well, good afternoon, guys. Here we are on the boat numbers project. Finally getting to this. I've measured this. This is 19 inches end to end. And I don't want to, as you can see how narrow this board is, I do not want to have it that tight onto the board. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to give this, where it's 19 inches, I'm going to be giving this 21 inches, with an inch on this end, inch on the other end. And then I'm going to take the center section of this, and by the way, this is a 6-foot board, so I'm going to be cutting 2 of these pieces to be, we got 2 signs to make. Okay, two boat number signs. Okay, one of these will be for port, the other one will be for starboard, and the other one that I'm going to be cutting and ripping to be able to add 3/4 of an inch onto this board. In other words, this will actually come up to right about there. Okay, and that way the boat numbers won't be pinched. They'll be on something that looks appropriate for the size of for the length and the height of the boat numbers. So I'm going to go out in the garage and cut these pieces. Cut, this is, port, starboard, and, rip the other one on my table saw. And then I'm going to glue up the 2 3/4 inch pieces, to the port and starboard. And then from there, we'll sand everything down, prime it, paint it, and we'll kind of go from there. Anyway, simple process, but takes a little bit of explanation. And yeah, I think that's where we're headed. All right, I'm writing my own light here. There's very little light in this garage, but I'm going to go ahead and rip this. I've got this set at 3/4 of an inch thereabouts, and I'm going to have to leave some room for sanding afterward anyway. So anyway, I've already taken and cut the pieces to 2 feet each. They'll be cut exactly the size a little bit later, but I cut them to 2 feet with my skill saw. And now I'm just going to rip these and give the center piece, this one piece I'm going to be using for the edges on the other 2. I'm going to cut 2 pieces out of that at 3/4 of an inch each. Oh, by the way, using the finished edge of each as what I'm going to be working with to glue onto the other pieces, because you get two factory or two milled perfect edges that are going to be gluing up, and it's going to be a lot easier. Okie dokie, we're all ready to go here. I ripped those pieces a while ago, and I made sure that the milled side is of both. Well, these are all the 2x4 or 1x4s are all milled anyway. But on this, if you look at it carefully, you can tell which side are ripped and which side is milled. So anyway, the mill side goes. Hang on, let me make sure I'm looking at this. Okay, yeah, it's that side. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put the mill side down, and I've also got this these clamps, but I'm going to have to go with bar clamps for the other one because I don't have clamps that are wide enough. And but these will work great for this stuff anyway. So I'm going to get this glued up, and then we'll clamp it, and these will be ready to cut off to the exact length later. I'm not worried about that now. The main thing is just get them glued up, and then later we'll cut them off, sand them, and paint them. That's what we're doing. I've got this cleaned up both sides. This is just virtually dead level. I can't even feel it. I can't feel anything, any difference in the height all the way end to end. So I think we're in good shape here. Like I said, I've already cleaned the glue both sides. One of the things that is different about this, because this is going to be a painted surface, it probably wouldn't matter if I ended up with a splotch of glue. Let's say I left a fingerprint of glue or something, and see, if you're putting stain on or urethane, that would make a difference because of absorption rate. But here, what we're going to be doing is sanding it out and painting it. And very likely, your paint would be covering that anyway. You wouldn't notice it. But like I said, anything you're putting stain on or urethane, or a varnish, yeah, definitely get your glue off of there. You don't want that anywhere on the surface of that. It would definitely cause it to show. Okay, the other side's all cleaned up, and I'm going to just flip this over. I just wanted to show you. We got really good squeeze out. I mean, there's plenty of glue in that seam. I mean, thoroughly in that seam. And this is the side that was down. And like I said, it was just really good squeeze out. It's going to be a good bond. And by the way, this is Titebond 2. It's water resistant. By the time this gets about 3 or 4 coats of paint on it, yeah, it's going to be fine. Then we'll get our ship numbers over the top of that. It'll look good. So going to clean this up, and we'll let this sit overnight. I just went and rinsed out my glue cloth, and I came back and felt it, and I can't feel I can't feel any kind of a rise in that at all. That's excellent. So we're going to be in good shape here. And not only that, but keep in mind, it's all going to be sanded anyway. And by the time you sand it and get it under paint, it's going to be perfect. You won't even know that it's not one piece of lumber. Interestingly enough, if I had paid for a 5-inch board, it would have cost me significantly more than a 1x4. And by using all the lumber that was basically in that 1x4, I've got myself a 5-inch board, and that's what I needed for my boat sign, my boat numbers. So we're looking good here, and let this dry overnight, and we're going to be good to go. By the way, when you use this stuff, whether you're using Titebond or Elmer's, either one, they're both wood glues. Are both aliphatic resin, basically, although I guess it made some modifications. Anyway, whenever you use this stuff, make sure when you're done using it, close the top and wipe up all your excess glue from around the top if you want to be able to use it conveniently the next time. That's number one rule. Don't ever leave it caked on top and with it open. Otherwise, you're going to have an awful mess trying to dig all this crap out of here and trying to clean it up for the next time when you want to use your glue. Good morning. Time to get all this stuff out of the clamps. And by the way, Titebond sets in about 30 minutes. Probably that's all I needed to do last night, but that's ready. Okay, so we got to get the other one out and get doing some sanding on this. Want to get it all nice and just smooth and even, and probably put some bevel on these, and then we'll start getting things ready to cut the ends and paint things and get it ready for putting my boat numbers on. Okay, so we got the morning coffee going here, and we got the camera here set up on a tripod instead of on the table because this wiggles a bit when we're working. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to get these seams nice and flush so you don't feel anything. And the beauty is you need to work with a wood block, and you work with a wood block. This is 150 grit sandpaper, and in order to do this and get everything to be completely flush and even, go diagonally across the grain at first, like this. What's happening is you're taking both levels and leveling them at exactly the same time with the same grit. And what happens is, because you're working with all pine, I can't even feel that now. I can't feel anything. And I'm going to do that all the way down the full length, working diagonally across the grain. Now, once this is done, you can go over it, going down the grain, up and down the length of the grain, like this. But right now, by doing that, and I've done it a little bit before I turn the camera on, this is just, it's perfect. You can't even feel that. That's what we're aiming for right there. I'm going to do that on all the surfaces, both of the boat number boards, and from there we'll go ahead and cut this. I think I'm going to do a design on the ends, take it out on my bandsaw, and then from there we'll prime it, and then we'll paint it. So that's what we're working on this morning. Okay, well, these are completely sanded out. You can't even feel the seam anywhere along this. Matter of fact, if you're not looking carefully, I defy you to see the seam. Anyway, yeah, this one came out really good. I almost can't tell where the grain is different. So anyway, these are ready. I'm going to go sit down, design an end for these, how I want to cut it out on the bandsaw. Maybe just round it, I don't know, but we're gonna work on that. Look at some historic examples of them, and then go ahead and draw it on and cut it. But for right now, really happy with these. The glue up and sanding came out great. Okay, guys, I'm a little nervous about doing this. I know my bandsaw very well, but it's the arc. It's being able to come in at this angle and see if I've got enough room on the back side of this not to hit it. So anyway, let's just get started. We'll see how it goes. If I have to back off, we'll back off. But anyway, let's just see how it goes. Well, that worked like a charm. I've got just enough room going right to left. We'll see about going left to right. I think we should be good on that too. So let's give it a shot. Looks like a charm both ways. It's got some cleaning up to do, but it's not bad. So we'll be able to do this pretty quickly. So let's keep on going. that'll work. Not perfect, but not too bad. Yeah. One of the things you're seeing here is, well, you know, I've got plenty of experience on this machine, but when I watch Steve on Acorn Arabella, and I watch him using this bandsaw, I mean, the guy does it with such confidence, but he's doing it all day, every day, you know, building Arabella, and I just say, man, dude, you got some skill there. Okay, let's go ahead and we got to get our next one, and we're going to be all done with this little project, and then we're got to get the rasp and the sanding and a whole bunch of finish work to get this baby finished up. We're getting there. The thing that's remarkable in watching Steve work is how fast he does it. And of course, that's confidence. Confidence and a lot of experience. I guess when you build a 38-foot wooden boat, yeah, you get a lot of that. So. There we go. Yeah, now just a lot of sanding, cleaning up. We'll be good to go. Both of them are done. Okay, so now comes this part. Obviously, everywhere where the teeth of the bandsaw went through, it leaves a little chatter mark, you know, just from the teeth going through. Anyway, so you just, all I'm doing, and I've already done the other one, but all you do is just take your sandpaper and just like we were talking about on the deck cleat, you know, just go right into the contour, let your finger be pushing down on it. Trying not to rock it, trying to go straight through. But then if you go this way, what you're doing is taking out those little teeth marks. Now, obviously, the fresher your sandpaper, the better. This is some 150 grit. I like 150. It's a good compromise. This is pretty good. Anyway, just keep working at it. Now what I'm going to do after this, and I haven't used it in a long time, but I have a really good router that after my wife's uncle died, her aunt took me out in the garage, and Uncle Bob was a guy of tools and had a lot of ability in woodwork. And I spotted his router sitting there in a metal case with it was just awesome. What a nice piece of equipment with special bits. Oh, he had made a special holder for the bits. And anyway, what I'm doing right now is getting it at an angle where I can see the light coming down on it to see if I've got any more of those tooth marks in it. And I still do a little bit. So anyway, I think I gave her $25 for it. Let me tell you, it's a good one. It was worth a whole lot more than $25. But I have used it so many times, and I've never used anything like this, whereas you got a lot of contour, but I'm having to come down a length like this. The straight edges are no problem, but coming around this curve and along the ends and everything, it'll be interesting to see how it works out. And yeah, I'm hoping when we get to that, it works as well as I'm hoping it will. Anyway, but I'm not going to do much of this. You see what I'm doing here, and it works. After about maybe 10 minutes on each one of the cutouts. Boy, it's just almost there. Get just one little bit right up here toward the top. Oh yeah, there we go. That's almost perfect right there. I'll come across this end grain too. So anyway, that's the way I'm doing it on each one of them. And just take the sandpaper, and when you get a lot of caking up, whop it out like that, or flip it over where you've got some fresh, unused sandpaper, and go after it again, because that's the stuff that's, we got a nice fresh sandpaper like that. It has a good bite to it, and it'll take out the material and give you a nice smooth surface. All right, I think we're good on that. And we'll show you when we get to the next stage. Well, that's it on part one, guys. We're going to let that suffice. And part two is coming up. And we're going to take everything and finish it off and get to know those numbers on there. But for right now, this is all we're going to do. And hope you've enjoyed this. We're going to be heading for the Cape this weekend, looking to maybe get some work down there. And we're going to be celebrating my mom's 92nd birthday with my brother and his family that are going to be back from Colorado. So anyway, listen, thanks for stopping by Restoring Little Girl. And we'll let this be a wrap on it. And we'll catch you next time on the Cape. And we'll, like I said, we got one more episode coming up for the boat numbers.